Today we're going to look at 5 celebrities and how they model frugal behavior that I've often seen in a lot of wealthy investors to help them just invest more wisely because you're not spending it all. And one of them actually held on to, what was it? It was an iPhone 6S for 7 years. And he did it on purpose. So we're going to talk about that today on the Furlo Capital Real Estate Podcast, where we dive into the intricacies of passive real estate investing, celebrity gossip, and and our mission is to equip people to invest wisely in both properties and peoples and celebrities, so that together we can build wealth while improving housing. I'm James, and this is my wife, Jessie.
Yeah, speaking of frugal, I get irked. I like having nice nails, but I get irked by how much like a salon costs.
Yeah.
And then you go, you pay these $60, $80, whatever, and then a week later your nail chips or, it's coming off or whatever.
Totally
It's like, come
understand
on.
what you're talking about.
And so all those spa days that you get your nails did. Anyways, so a friend recently told me like their daughters were like, hey, we've been using this like at-home gel nail polish. And it's like, it's a really affordable kit. And then you cure your nails under this light thing.
Yeah.
And it
fancy.
instantly dries. So it like doesn't get messed up and it lasts a long time. So I was like,
Cool.
Yes, sign me up. So Eleanor and I have been doing the nails.
Fun,
saving money. I love
fun.
it. It is super hard to get off. So
I guess that's part of the point,
downside.
I guess.
I mean, which if you were to go to the salon, I don't know about gels. Acrylics definitely, they like sand off of your nail.
Wow.
Which is like, this seems a little like a Dremel.
Dang.
They just
Yeah,
Dremel it right off. So I think
maybe
with gels they do that too. I don't know.
know.
I tried soaking it. Anyways.
But I think there's a lot of celebrities who are also probably looking into frugal ways to do things like that.
Some celebrities do their nails at home.
You still want to look good on the red carpet, but you don't necessarily need someone to paint your nails, so might as well do it yourself.
Wow.
So I don't know specifically about these people, but we're going to talk about them.
Okay.
And here's why this is important. I mean, it's interesting, but if you allow lifestyle inflation to take hold, that can outpace your capital deployment, and it can just make it harder to invest in the future.
Interesting.
And so, and a lot of these people that we're going to talk to, they're not like not spend any money type of people. They're just really like, let's pay attention to the value and what is it worth actually spending money on. So it's about value maximizing, not, hey, let's spend.
Not penny pinching.
Correct.
That makes sense.
All right. So the very first one is Cameron Diaz.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
She was quoted as saying, spend on what matters, not what signals.
Oh.
Which, in that kind of industry, talking about like the glitzy dresses and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Name
she
brand
had a very
things.
frugal upbringing, and so she chooses to spend on relationships and experiences over, as she calls them, flashy assets.
All right.
And so she goes, she said, I'm not just going to throw my money away. She goes, I spend money on plane tickets, having feasts, buying tons of groceries, and cooking. Mm-hmm. And so I think like an investor takeaway from that is like deploying is greater than displaying. So instead of saying like, you could say things like, I'd rather overspend on things like talent and inspections and contingencies than say marble in a lobby.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Sure. Not
So
just flashy stuff.
It's the same dollars, but just a different return on investment, I think is what's important there.
I like that.
Yeah, I knew you would. All right, number 2, Matthew McConaughey. Go ahead.
All right.
There you go. That's pretty good. He actually lived in a minimalist Airstream for a bunch of years.
I could kind of see that.
Yeah,
He has that vibe.
He's got that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he customized it. He lived and worked in it. It was low overhead base that prioritized freedom and focus over square footage. And so I think from an investor standpoint, the way we can look at that is, keep your fixed costs light to keep your optionality high.
Okay.
It's kind of the idea behind there. So, it might be like negotiating for, let's say, flexible debt or short construction types of things, or having a portable team, that kind of thing. And so think of it as you want to trade your footprint for freedom. Yeah. And so, it's funny. I've been half-heartedly looking at offices for my property management business. And it was really like reading about him being like, maybe I don't want an office. Maybe I don't want to get stuck to it, because I do suddenly lose a bunch of optionality if I do that, and flexibility. And so, just trying to be a little bit more, maybe just get a bunch of Airstreams.
Oh my word.
No, probably not.
Airstream office.
But what does it look like to have just lean operations? I think is, and thought it was a good lesson from him.
Which, I mean, Airstreams are pretty nice, but
they can be, depending on
lean operations. I could see that.
Yeah, that's
so
the idea.
The garage office is not necessarily bad.
Right. And again, it's not about, just don't spend money on stuff, but it's how do you...
what gives you the most opportunity, options.
I like that phrase.
Yep.
So you actually may decide to spend money on something to give yourself even more choices.
Yeah. Like a mobile office.
Right. Yeah. Well,
what I'm thinking of is when you got your van.
I was just thinking that too. Go ahead.
Yeah. And because you were like, okay, well, I have a garage, or I have a space in one of the properties. I could store all the tools, but then I have to go and get them, and then I have to drive. So if I have a vehicle that just holds the tools, it's like a mobile workspace.
Yeah.
And they're secure and in there, and then I can just take them with me, and I have everything I need.
Yeah.
Give you a lot more option.
Yeah, a lot
optionality.
More optionality. A lot more flexibility. 100%. See, you get it.
Yeah.
Number 3, Jennifer Lawrence.
That's the Hunger Games girl.
Yes. That is.
For whatever reason, you said Jennifer Lawrence, and I saw J-Lo in my head and was like, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right.
Yeah, she
that's
does
Jennifer
not
Lopez.
Strike me. So the next name,
Frugal.
Maybe.
Okay, Jennifer Lawrence does strike me as frugal.
Yes. She is
very practical.
She talks about value for money as a rule. So her quote is, "I was raised to have value for money, to have respect for money. Even though you have a lot of it, that's why mini bars are difficult." That's her. So what you can think about is like, what are those habitual price disciplines at small scales that can inoculate you to big ticket waste? Okay, because those are often the same muscles. So the way I think of it is like, you treat every line item on like a capital expense budget, kind of like that mini bar, right? Can I justify the delta in rent growth or downside protection? Again, it's not about vanity, it's about spend. And so it's really like, let's practice caring about the little things and really questioning them, so that when we get to the big things, we've got that discipline built in.
Yeah, you're maximizing value for where you're spending all the time. It doesn't matter if it's a big thing or a little thing. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So now we're going to talk about the other half of Bennifer.
Nice.
Yeah. So Ben Affleck, there was a story where he was with his 13-year-old, and his son asked for a $6,000 designer pair of sneakers.
Yikes.
And Affleck said, no, you need to work for it, and then publicly defended the decision as teaching him financial responsibility. Which I'm like,
sure.
You had to defend that? Okay, cool. And so from an investor standpoint, the way you can think about it is like, this is the same discipline we want to have with our partners, right? Who's earning the return and what needs to be true, and replacing really like impulse with like unit level math, right? Like let's think through the numbers here. Does this actually make sense? So if a $6,000 splurge is needed, like if a $6,000 splurge will require, let's say 1,000 hours of work at minimum wage to pay it off, like, does that make sense? Or what must a $600,000 remodel earn in a net operating income return to justify itself?
Yeah.
It's kind of the way that
the question I've heard you ask before that I really like is, especially in that kid scenario, is like, it's not a no, but what would need to happen to make this a reality?
Yeah.
Like, sure.
Right. And in this particular case, it's like, hey, let's tie this actually back to like, what would the return be? Does this make sense?
Does this actually make sense? How do we need to structure this so it could make sense?
Yeah. And just even on the personal finance side, I think that's an important question to ask as well. Like, what are we actually gaining from this?
Yeah.
Like, let's not just impulse this. Let's think it through. Let's do the math.
That's the other thing I have seen you do before, especially like on the smaller things. You say, let's just wait. Like, we don't need to get it now. We can think about it. And then after we have justified, earned, set it up, really know that this is going to provide the value we want, then we can do this.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't do the impulse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't do the impulse. Yeah, that's a good one. Finally, number 5, Captain America himself, Chris Evans.
Nice.
He is all about delayed gratification. He's the guy who held on to his iPhone 6S for 7 years. He publicly eulogized it when he finally upgraded, and even lamented over losing his home button and the fact that his device was now heavier. Yes.
That's amazing.
I know. So the investor lens here, think of it, it's all about timing. You know, you want to upgrade when the return on investment is clear, not when the market necessarily says so.
Sure.
And it comes back to doing that math. The same might be true for different software when it comes to trucks, when it comes to office moves. Again, it's like you want to do it when there's a clear, yes, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. The best time to replace something is when the marginal utility makes sense.
When it makes sense for
numbers
you.
are there. Yeah.
Yeah. That, I mean, talking about celebrities too.
My office conversation, I'm like, I'm not there.
Right?
It's fun to think about, but I'm actually not quite there yet.
Yeah. Well, and talking about celebrities and that whole comparison game too, I feel like that can be hard sometimes in business or in investing when you're like, like, look at what those other people are getting to do or what they have, or they're, like they're doing a bunch of improvements or they're getting the new flashy thing. And it's like, well, yes, and they may not be getting the greatest returns, and that is okay. Like, you can adjust and not just go with the flow of what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
You can keep your iPhone 6S for years.
Yeah. It's all good. Or not.
People will make fun of you, and it's okay.
Yes. They make fun of you if you upgrade every year as well. That's what I've learned.
Well, okay,
Yeah. So a couple, 3 other points here, just kind of like big picture level stuff. Being frugal doesn't necessarily equal living a small life. You can still do it, and you can make choices that expand that surface area, expanding opportunities for spontaneity, serendipity, I hate that word, but and scale, right? And again, you can think of like McConaughey's and Diaz's, their relationships with monies. So it's you do those things, focus on people and mobility instead of like just stuff.
Yeah.
Also, your bank cares, right? In our previous episode, we were talking all about a credit score. And in this case, like lowering your personal expense rate improves your debt service coverage ratio just personally, improves your debt to income ratio. Like it just makes it a lot easier for you to qualify for loans and credit. And
so what you're saying is if you don't have the money, don't spend it.
In general, but these are people who have a lot of money.
That's true.
Right? And even then, it's like, doesn't mean you have to spend it.
You don't have to spend it.
And also, status is a financing cost, and so it's okay to just ignore other people. And for every dollar that you're spending on yourself and other fun stuff beyond what's needed to survive, that's what you didn't put into earning or growing or helping other people or whatever. So got some takeaways for you. So adopt a value or velocity test for any personal business upgrade. If it doesn't increase your earning power, durability, or joy per hour, you should probably take a pass on it. You should do an annual life audit. Maybe like, how about this one? Cancel 10% of non-compounding spend and reallocate it to opportunities to fund other stuff. So yeah, just look at your budget and be like, man, if I had to cut my budget 10% somewhere, what would I cut? It's a good exercise.
That would be hard. I feel like that would be hard.
Yep. You want to opt for flexible assets. Oftentimes leasing can be greater than buying for things that you're not going to fully utilize. Obviously, if you're going to use it a lot, go for it. You want to only upgrade when it makes sense. Like, there's clear math there that it makes sense. You also want to teach your operators, in my case, like people like me, when to say no to like really interesting but potentially low yield expenses, and really only say yes to the big things that like make sense or allow for a lot of optionality. Again, you want to invest in relationships, not necessarily optics. So we've talked a lot about that. Spend on people, and that's okay. Like communications, like tenant experiences, Inspection depth, I think, is a good place. Like, yeah, that's a good place to spend money on. And, keep your fixed costs light as much as you can. So, question for you. What line item in your life or business gives you no compounding? And what would happen if you cut it out for 90 days? So what's something that's not helping you grow that you could cut out for 90 days? Oh, pressure's on. Get rid of those lattes.
I know.
I don't know.
I jumped to food right away for some reason, but it's like it's snacks or candy or,
I tried cutting heat out of our house at one point in time.
Yep, that was bad.
We did not survive the whole 90 days.
Not good.
I won't try that experiment again.
Long underwear and sweaters, like they work, but still.
And I didn't turn the heat off. I just lowered
we just lowered
house
it
by like 3 degrees.
You just always had to have
matters.
a sweatshirt on.
Yeah. Everyone hated it, even me. So I've tried that one.
That one wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what we cut.
What to cut?
And like, I don't know, in a business aspect, that would be a little bit different too, but.
Yeah, that's true. There's probably some software that I'm regularly like, do I need this? I use it every once in a while. Does it make sense? I often will ask those questions about things. I'm just not sure. Yeah.
You and I are super frugal. We've chatted about it on different podcasts, but like, examples like I rarely buy clothes new. I always thrift them or, exchange them or consign them. You just really buy clothes. So it's like, that's one area that we're like, we don't overspend there. And
and I keep thinking about like, what are the really big ones? What are those $10,000 types of expenses that we could potentially think about? Vacations are one of them, but I think I'm okay with those. But yeah, I want to put that back to you, humble listener. Yeah. What is an area in your life where you're like, if I cut this out for 90 days, would I be okay with it? How would I go? Something to think about. Like those celebrities, they obviously could spend a lot, but they choose not to. And I think that's
they probably do also spend a lot, but in some areas choose not to.
Proportionally speaking.
Yeah.
Not very much. So there you have it. Just some good, hopefully inspiration on how to live and how to think about investing and spending. And if you would like to spend some of that excess cash on an investment, you absolutely can. And you can check us out at furlo.com. You can learn all about our investing thesis, the types of projects we're working on right now, and what it would look like to invest with us. So thanks for listening, and have a great day.